Have you ever looked back at a moment in your life and you thought to yourself, that was my chance and I missed it? I think that almost everybody has felt that way before. Maybe it was a relationship that didn't work out, a job, an opportunity you didn't get, a dream that seemed too big to accomplish, or simply a version of life that you thought you'd have by now. And for the longest time, I used to believe opportunities only came once. Like life was this tiny window, and if you didn't get it exactly right the first time, that was it. Hey guys, welcome back. If you are new here, hi, I'm Dana, and on this channel, I share thoughts, advice, and little reminders about motivation, self growth, and creating a life that feels better and more fulfilling. And if you enjoy listening, make sure to follow. So, honestly, I don't believe that opportunities only come once. Because what's meant for you won't require you to betray yourself or beg for acceptance or spend the rest of your life wondering if you are enough. I think that sometimes we romanticize missed opportunities because we only imagine the version where everything worked out perfectly. So we rarely think about the version where the same opportunity could have drained us, hurt us, distracted us, or led us away from who we were becoming. And I know that can be hard to accept when you're grieving something you really wanted, especially when social media makes it feel like everybody else is ahead of you. You see people getting engaged, traveling the world, becoming successful, and suddenly your timeline feels wrong. But here's what you need to remember: life is not a race. And even though being on social media constantly makes you feel like it, some people find clarity at 22, some people completely restart their lives at 35, and some people discover their purpose after years of feeling lost. There is no universal timeline for happiness, success, love, or growth. And honestly, a lot of pressure that we feel comes from comparing our behind the scenes to everybody else's highlight reel. And I also think that we underestimate how much rejection redirects us. There are things that I used to pray for, and I'm now genuinely happy that they didn't happen. At that time, I thought losing them meant that I failed. But looking back, some endings protected me from environments, relationships, and situations that no longer align with me. Now, that doesn't mean rejection never hurts. Of course it does, but pain doesn't automatically mean something was meant to stay forever. Sometimes life closes doors because there's another version of you waiting to exist, one that couldn't grow in the place you were trying so desperately to remain in. And I think that's what people mean when they say there are no missed opportunities. What's truly aligned with you will find you in the right timing. Not always your preferred timing, but the right timing. Imagine getting everything you wanted before you were emotionally ready for it. Sometimes we think we're being denied something when really we're just being prepared for it. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. Growth changes what you're attracted to. It changes your standards. It changes what you tolerate. It changes the kind of life you actually want. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to outgrow dreams. You're allowed to discover better things for yourself. And honestly, some opportunities only look perfect because they're unavailable. We convince ourselves if I had gotten that relationship, I'd be happier. If I got accepted there, my life would finally make sense. If that one thing worked out, everything would be okay. But happiness was never supposed to depend on one single moment. Your life is bigger than one rejection, bigger than one delay, bigger than one chapter ending. I also think people forget how many opportunities they've already survived losing before. Think about it. There was probably a moment years ago that felt devastating, something you thought you'd never recover from. And now you barely think about it. Or maybe you look back and you realize losing it actually led you somewhere better. That's why I believe life keeps moving. There's always another connection, another idea, another opportunity, another version of yourself waiting to be discovered. And no, that doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing and expecting life to magically happen. You still have to take chances. You still have to try. You still have to put yourself out there. You still have to trust yourself enough to begin again. But do not let fear convince you that your entire future depends on one moment going perfectly. It doesn't. You're not behind. You're not ruined because something didn't work out. And your life is not over because your plan changed. Sometimes the redirection is the blessing, even if you don't understand it immediately. I think life becomes lighter when you stop treating every closed door like it's proof that you failed. Because maybe it was just a proof that your story isn't finished yet. And maybe the opportunities that are meant for you are still finding their way to you right now. So, guys, I want to thank you for joining me again. If you enjoyed listening to today's video, make sure you give it a like and share it. And join me on the next one. Bye.